You stand up because you need something. It is perfectly clear in your mind. The scissors, the charger, a glass of water. You can picture the exact thing you are going for. You walk out of the room, down the hall, into the kitchen, and the instant you cross the threshold, it is gone. You stand there, blank, staring at the room as if it might remind you. What did I come in here for? You have done this hundreds of times, and every single time you blame the same things: your bad memory, your age, the fact that you are tired or distracted or trying to do too much at once. But none of those are the real reason. The real reason is stranger and far more precise. You did not lose that thought by accident. Your brain took it from you, deliberately, at one very specific moment. And you can name the exact culprit. It was the door. That sounds absurd. A doorway is empty space, a gap in a wall. How could walking through nothing erase a thought you were actively holding on to? But this is a real, measured phenomenon, and it has a name. Psychologists call it the doorway effect, and the man who proved it is a researcher at the University of Notre Dame named Gabriel Radvansky. Radvansky wanted to know why this happens to everyone, so he built an experiment. He had people move through rooms, picking up an object on one table and carrying it to set down on another. Sometimes the second table was across the same room. Sometimes it was in a different room, through a doorway. The distance was the same. The time was the same. The only difference was whether or not you passed through a door. And then he tested how well people remembered what they were carrying. The result was clean and a little unsettling. The people who walked through a doorway forgot more. Not because they walked further, not because more time passed, simply because they crossed a threshold. The door and nothing else was making them forget. And it was not a small effect or something that showed up in just a few scattered people. It was steady and it was everywhere, across person after person, exactly the kind of pattern you would expect from something wired into the basic machinery of the mind, rather than a quirk of a few forgetful volunteers. So what is actually happening in that moment? To understand it, you have to stop thinking of your memory as one long, continuous recording. It feels continuous. Your day feels like a single unbroken stream, one moment flowing into the next. But that is not how your brain handles it. Your brain is constantly chopping your experience into separate chunks, like scenes in a film. One scene ends, another begins, and the cut between them is invisible to you. A psychologist named Jeffrey Sachs, who studies exactly this, calls the moments where one chunk ends and another starts event boundaries. And your brain treats those boundaries as a signal to wrap up the old scene and get ready for a new one. A doorway is one of the most powerful event boundaries there is. When you step through it, some part of your mind decides that one episode of your life has just ended and a fresh one is beginning. The room you left is the old scene. The room you entered is the new scene, and to make space for whatever comes next, your brain quietly files away the details of the moment you just left, including the small, fragile intention you were carrying. Get the scissors. That thought belonged to the old room. The moment you crossed into the new one, your brain set it down and shut the drawer. Here is the part that makes it undeniable. The same thing happens even when the doorway is not real. Radvansky ran the experiment again, this time in a virtual environment on a screen. People moved through digital rooms, carrying digital objects through digital doorways that were nothing more than pixels. There was no real walking, no physical space at all, and the forgetting happened anyway. Just passing through the image of a doorway was enough to trigger it. That tells you something important. It was never about your body moving through space. It was about your mind deciding that a boundary had been crossed. The door is a trigger your brain reacts to, even when the door is made of light. If the fact that a door made of light can reach into your mind and take something is the kind of thing that fascinates you, then this channel is built for you. A quick subscribe means the next one finds you. Now, one more question remains. So if this is happening constantly, why does it feel like such a betrayal? Why does your own brain delete the one thing you actually needed? Because forgetting is not the failure here. Forgetting is the whole point of the system. And once you see why, you will never be annoyed by it in quite the same way. Think about what your working memory actually is. It is a tiny, temporary workspace, the part of your mind that holds the handful of things you are using right now. It is powerful, but it is small, and it has to stay small to stay fast. If it tried to hold on to every thought, every intention, every detail from every room you have ever been in, it would jam within minutes. So it is built to let go. It is built to clear the desk the moment a task is done, so the next task has room to land. Most of the time, this is invisible and perfect. You finish one thing, your mind quietly resets, and you move on, clean and ready. The doorway effect is just that reset firing at an inconvenient moment. Your brain saw a boundary, assumed the previous scene was finished, and cleared the desk. It was not broken. It was doing the exact job that lets you function at all. It simply could not tell that you still needed the thing it just put away. The price of a mind that can move smoothly from one moment to the next is that sometimes it moves on a half-second before you are ready. And there is a deeper reason your mind works this way, one that goes back long before doorways and kitchens existed. Your ancestors lived in a world that was always shifting around them. The patch of forest that mattered an hour ago does not matter now. The danger by the river is not the danger in the clearing. A mind that clung to every old context would be a mind trapped in the past, still bracing for threats that were already behind it. So, your brain evolved to do the opposite, to notice when the situation has changed, release what no longer applies, and lock onto what is in front of you right now. And crossing into a new place was one of the oldest, clearest signals that the world had changed. New place, new rules, new things to track. Letting go of the old scene was never a weakness. It was part of how your ancestors stayed alive in a world that never once stood still. And that raises one more question, the one you have probably already tested yourself. If the doorway took the thought, why does going back to the original room so often bring it back? You know the trick. You walk back to where you started, and the second you are there, it returns. The scissors. Of course, this is not a coincidence, and it is not your imagination. It points to something deep about how memory actually works. Your memories are not stored as clean, isolated facts. They are stitched together with the context they were formed in. The room, the lighting, where you were standing, what you were looking at. All of it gets woven into the memory itself, becoming part of the thread you pull to bring it back. Researchers proved how strong this is with one famous study. Two scientists, Gaudin and Baddeley, had deep-sea divers learn lists of words, some on dry land and some underwater. Then they tested them. The divers remembered the underwater words far better when they were back underwater, and the dry land words better on dry land. The place where you learned something becomes a key to unlocking it. Take the key away, and the memory gets harder to reach. Put yourself back where you formed the thought, and the context clicks back into place, and the intention you lost comes flooding back with it. So when you return to that first room and suddenly remember, you are not jogging your memory by luck. You are walking back to the exact context your brain attached the thought to. You are picking the key back up. Now look at what this really means about your ordinary, forgetful, frustrating day. Every time you forget why you walked into a room, you are not witnessing a flaw. You are catching your brain in the act of doing one of the most sophisticated things it does, organizing the endless blur of your life into clean, separate chapters so you do not drown in it. The doorway effect is the visible edge of an invisible system that is running every second you are awake. quietly cutting your experience into scenes, closing the ones that are finished, opening the ones that are next. You only ever notice it on the rare occasion it closes a scene a beat too soon. And it is not just doorways, it is every boundary your mind recognizes. Opening a new tab and forgetting what you wanted to search. Walking outside and losing the thought you had indoors. Hanging up a call and blanking on the thing you meant to say. These are all the same event boundary, the same gentle reset, the same brain deciding that one chapter has ended and clearing the page for the next. Your whole day is quietly divided this way into dozens of small episodes you never notice beginning or ending. It is part of why a long, eventful day can feel like it held a week of moments, while an unbroken stretch of sameness blurs into almost nothing at all. Your brain is counting boundaries, not minutes. So the next time you stand frozen in a doorway, staring into a room, with no idea why you are there, try not to feel broken. You are not losing your mind. You are watching it work exactly as it was built to. You came in here for something, and for one strange second you cannot remember what. Now you know why. The door did not steal your thought. It simply turned the page, the way it turns 10,000 pages a day. And this time, you happen to be standing right on the seam. And if this changed the way you see one small, everyday moment, there is another one waiting. Your body does something every single day that no other creature on earth can do, and you were probably taught to hide it. Go find out why you cry.